Very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. You are watching Good Morning Uganda on UBC Television. My name is Chantal Olive Akandinda. In the house, I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. I am also with Olive Monica Najuma and Jerome Paul Sonko. This 18th day of August, we are so glad that you could catch the show with us. Welcome aboard. I'm hoping you are having a lovely morning. It's a Friday, so guess what? It is always massive when it comes to Friday, and I'm always excited to be here. Usually on Monday or Tuesday or any other day, the dancing does not happen. But if they could give you what happens before we get on set, my friend, you would see what Robert does. He doesn't just speak politics sometimes, he also dances. And for that matter, I'd like to know how the team spent their night, how they are feeling this Friday morning, and if they are looking forward to today's performance because, well, it's music, it's launching into the weekend, and that's what we do. Good morning, Chirabo.
A lovely morning to you. How have you been?
I have you on record, showing us.
Skills.
Yeah.
And the latest tomorrow. I was fine. My night was fine. And I came up with an idea after seeing a picture we took. It had you, her, him, and Ruben. And in this picture, it didn't do justice to me. I don't know, you people had something you were stepping on and you chose not to give me. So, these people were given something to step on and actually they forgot to bring mine. So I appeared very, very short. Now, overnight I thought of forming the Short Men's Association of Uganda.
Oh my God, Chirabo.
And I'm calling upon all short men. We must have a gathering, we elect a body, and I'm sure this association will help us. And even we shall make arrangements to meet HE and tell him about issues we are facing. We need to come together and combine efforts. I feel like we could be vulnerable also, but there's a category we don't fit. So that photo brought, so I'm going to register that association.
I am tempted to say a lot right now.
The first president of Short Men's Association of Uganda.
Someone called you the treasurer, called you the chairman.
No, I'm the president, and that position remains mine until the annual general meeting.
And they're shorter men than you.
No, those are people with disabilities. If you're shorter than me,
No, they're actually
that must be a disability.
they're actually shorter men than you.
Those ones, they are not just short.
I should say you look
They have a
you're
disability.
averagely short.
I am the definition. You know, I was watching a clip from Kenya, and they were asking, I think they are CDF, why they don't allow short people in Kenyan forces. Yes. And he was explaining how they have some limitation. Below that, you don't qualify to be in the army. Because he mentioned that some of the weapons they carry are a bit...
There will be weapons against the short ones.
Good morning, people.
Good morning, Sonko. How was your night?
Well, good morning. Good morning, Chantal. Good morning, Uganda. My night was short-lived, I should say. But then I'm really excited, like Chantal did mention. Before we went on air, you know, we had a session where some person here was entertaining us, definitely ushering us into the weekend. You know, I was challenging him to see whether he knows how to dance the Mpele dance, where you have to definitely, you know, go down, bend. You know the Mpele dance, Roberta? And he was doing it here. But he was doing it so well.
That takes him to.
So he was doing it so well. Well, I think to all the Ugandans out there, how excited are you for the weekend? Because for us here, we're already geared up to make sure that we inspire you this Friday morning. Not only that, but to usher you into the weekend so that you feel ready to definitely go up there. Maybe if I told you you're going to work during the weekend, which is quite unfortunate for some of you though. But then for those who will be up for short holidays, again, good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Olive.
Good morning, Olive, my namesake.
Interesting. How are you feeling? You look lovely in that blue.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's easy for us to differentiate if I'm calling Olive you, Olive him, would I say Olive tall, Olive short? Just.
Oh, you had to do that. But you see, even when we talk about height, I am doing so well considering, you know, like if I'm juxtaposed with other people,
Especially the females.
Yeah, my height for a female is actually fine. Now, thingy, Sonko was talking about you dancing the Mpere dance, and I'm like, why would you do that to a fellow man? This man is already short. You're telling him to take a stroke that takes him to the floor. He's already on the floor. Why are you doing that? Why on this Friday?
Why are all of you choosing violence this morning? I'm not getting it.
But good morning, viewers. I am excited about Friday. And as you know, on Friday, we have the Good Morning Uganda special. And we normally have amazing, amazing things for you. We have beautiful performances coming your way. So I hope that you stay on your TV, don't touch that channel, and enjoy, because we are here to give you a good time and, of course, very important conversations.
Thank you so much, Olive. And just briefly before we get into the local stories and international stories, I would like to know from you, Sonko, what story stood out for you, probably during the course of the week or even throughout the evening as of yesterday?
Well, following the build-up we had with our dailies yesterday from the New Vision and the Daily Monitor, there was a huge report of what I could call of a huge concern to the Ugandans. This one was relating to the fact that the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development apparently revealed that they've lost close to 129 billion, or roughly 130 billion Ugandan shillings. That is through the Youth Livelihood Program, which was put in place starting the financial year 2013-2014. This particular one, when you come to think of it, this was to disburse loans to the different youth or young people out there in order to cap the level of unemployment, which was on the rise by that time, and now it is already hitting the maximum. But according to the findings from the ministry, it clearly shows that the government has failed to recover those particular funds. Because remember, when government puts up these particular funds, they come with very low interest, but open to the young people because it's a youth livelihood program. We've seen quite a number of other programs that the government puts in place. And when you look at this, government has actually cited the fact that some of the young people, either way, did not make good use of this money, or those who happen to use the money to start up their businesses, they could not reach their expectations. And I want to believe we've all seen these case scenarios where most people start up businesses. For example, someone can start up a business this year, and by the time we reach 2024, it is already,
they usually never get
to
to their first birthday.
Or others just buy, buy clothes or buy a piece of land to settle, yet it was money that was supposed to empower them out of poverty. So it was something I looked at, and I think government is trying to, to find out where the major problems were before they even look out for other various programs of expansion to lift the young people.
Well, the truth is, in my own thinking, depending on how much you're giving these people, the truth is, look at if you're to punch into markets in the country, how much capital do you need? You realize that in most cases you need a lot more than you're given.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense, and you're going to struggle along the way, and at the end of the day, they will choose the other way.
Yeah, because at times some of them were getting like 2 million Ugandan shillings.
2 million Ugandan
so
shillings, what business are you going to start that is going to sustain you?
Unless maybe when you're a country, and again, when you have a clear business plan that will run through.
I think the problem is not the amount of money given. The problem is the pre-planning of the business. Because you can get 2 million and grow it to something tangible. But if you have no plan, business plan, like you said, then even if you get 100 million, you're going to squander it, and at the end of the day, you'll have nothing.
But also,
the secret with money is not how much you have. Because if you can't manage the little, then you won't manage the big. It's all about having the right plan, the right investment, and something that you can really be able to understand. But the biggest challenge also comes in, there's what they call learning from your mistakes. I'm sorry to say, but I believe right from the Ntandikwa, I don't know if some of you are born, the Ntandikwa, we've had a number of interventions of giving people money, but we haven't learned from our mistakes. Now we have the parish development model, a very good model, I must say. And Pillar 3 is about money, but I'm worried the excitement of people eager to get we may end up in the same boat.
But the question is, these people who are being given money, there's trainings that are supposed to be taking place. Are they trained? I would like you to assess the number of business owners in the country. How many of them started those businesses intentionally with a business plan? When you try to assess, you realize that they didn't start with a plan. The plan found them along the way, or what happened was they had to go study or go do trainings, but after starting. So it gets a bit tricky because business training in the country is just growing.
That you're mentioning, yes, they could have started without a business plan, but when you get to sit down with a business person to find out, to learn about their journey, you will realize that they have made so many mistakes, lost so much money along the way, and they would advise that you do not make the same mistakes that they made. So at the end of the day, yeah, training and of course mindset change. This week we have been talking about mindset change regarding so many things, but it is true. If your attitude about business is negative, if you are, for instance, someone has a business. The other day I went to Cementi. I was looking for something in the morning, and at 9 a.m. in a mall, most shops were closed. And at the end of the day, you say, government gave me money, but I've failed to recoup and pay back.
Lastly, before we get into the local stories, I noticed, I usually tell business owners something. You see, if you are to be employed and you're required to be at UBC TV by 6 in the morning or 5:30, you are always there. But when you start your own business, actually you end up sleeping in and getting to your business at 11. If you can't give that business of yours the same energy you would give someone else's business, don't expect it to work. Or you're actually going to get challenges. But briefly, let's get into the local stories and see what is happening.
A word from a business consultant, I hope not a motivational speaker this time. But let's look at issues of the youth. We begin with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who advised youth leaders to engage in wealth creation activities to embrace their livelihoods. The president made the statement on the 16th during a meeting with the National Youth Council leaders led by their chairperson Jacob Eyeru at State House in Entebbe. His Excellency elaborated that the National Resistance Army, NRA, was able to successfully fight and triumph in the prolonged war of 1981 to 1986 due to their robust foundation in wealth creation.
Moving on to the digital transformation, National Planning Authority has been directed to integrate Uganda Digital Transformation Roadmap 2023-27 into the National Development Plan 4 being developed, and all government ministries to embrace it for Uganda to match the time of digital transformation. At the launch of the Digital Transformation Roadmap in Kampala, the Vice President, Major General Jessica Alupo, expressed confidence that this roadmap will address pressing issues of the youth and unemployment.
And government directors, commissioners, and undersecretaries convened to deliberate on potential obstacles impacting the execution of government projects. During the comprehensive assessment session hosted at the Presidential Office in Kampala, it was conclusively determined that reinforcing monitoring and adopting effective benchmarking practices for successful projects are imperative. Such measures are crucial for ensuring robust accountability mechanisms, thereby mitigating issues like project delays and incidences of corruption.
Now, looking into the issue that is homosexuality, a nationwide parents mobilization effort program which aims to counteract instances of homosexuality within the country has been launched in Kampala. The initiative is aimed at addressing possible related homosexuality in the country. The World Bank recently delivered a statement announcing the termination of its financial support to Uganda following the passing of the anti-homosexuality bill into law. law. The statement, presented in part, emphasized that Uganda's enactment of the Anti-Homosexuality Act fundamentally contradicts the bank's values. The bank's focus remains on eradicating poverty within a society that respects the rights, gender, and sexuality of all individuals.
And crossing over, checking what is happening on the international scene, 10 people have been killed after a small private aircraft crashed on a highway on the outskirts of Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. All 8 people on board were killed, as well as 2 on the ground, when the jet crashed into a motorbike and a car on Thursday afternoon while attempting to land. The Beechcraft Model 390 Premier One aircraft, a light private chartered plane, was carrying 6 passengers and 2 crew members when it crashed near Elmina Township just before it was due to land. Selangor Police Chief, that is Hussein Omar Khan, told reporters the drivers of the motorcycle and the car that were hit by the plane, which had lost contact with the air traffic control tower, also died. And away from that, we speak matters North Korea. North Korea was accused at the UN Security Council of spending heavily on its nuclear arms program while its people go hungry and lack basic necessities. Volker Turk, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, told the Council that people in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea have experienced increasingly severe political repression, while economic conditions have worsened with widespread systematic human rights violations. Many of the violations I have referred to stem directly from or support the increasing militarization of the DPRK, he said. He cited widespread use of forced labor, including by children, to support the military apparatus of the state and its ability to build weapons. And coming back, Senegal, opposition leader Ousmane Sonko, at the center of a crisis that has rocked Senegal ahead of the presidential elections, has been admitted to intensive care after launching a hunger strike, and this is according to his lawyer. Sonko began the protest on July 30th after he was accused of fanning deadly violence between his supporters and the security forces. He was admitted to intensive care at Dakar Main Hospital, and this is according to one of his lawyers. The attorney, who said he went to the intensive care unit yesterday, said he lost consciousness on Wednesday. Another lawyer, Bamba Sis, also said Sonko was in intensive care, while Sonko's Facebook page said he had been brought in on Wednesday evening after falling ill. And speaking matters climate, between Maui's deadly wildfires, flash floods in Vermont, overwhelming wildfire smoke, and more record-breaking heat waves this summer has begun provided more evidence of how climate change can upend daily life in the U.S. We are seeing a confluence of factors come together this summer. Human-caused climate change is a key factor, and adding extra fuel to the fire, as it were, is the transition from a sustained La Nina state of the climate to an El Nino state, which is spiking global temperatures. Michael Mann, a professor of environmental science at the University of Pennsylvania, told Yahoo News on Mail. Well, briefly, that is what is happening on the international scene. But I'm thinking Sonko has something to share with us.
I'm getting back to, to Uganda with some of the updates coming in locally. I was pretty much more interested in that particular report from Senegal. It did have a namesake.
You did have a namesake?
Yeah, it did have a namesake who, who led a hunger strike. The way I love food, I can't even lead a hunger strike, really. But coming back to Uganda, President Museveni has exposed how some loans and the aid packages have hindered rather than helped Uganda's progress. So this is following up to Uganda's suspension, or the World Bank's suspension, of all new loans to Uganda, citing the recently passed anti-homosexuality law as a fundamental contradiction to its values. Now, the vision bearer, while addressing the role of foreign aid and loans in Uganda's development, said that when you look at this, he was actually addressing the Bazukulu, saying that at times, this particular one, the aid packages have even hindered rather than helped Uganda's progress furthermore. Because it does seem like we've been overused to getting these loans all the time, and at times we even take make no use of them. For example, he says many of the loans and aid packages are either of no value addition to the country or are even anti-growth. And in the Ministry of Agriculture, for example, we discovered that as a country, that a total of $800 million had been borrowed over a period of 10 years. But according to the president, the ministry did not have zonal diagnostic labs and research centers. It did not repair the mechanization centers, even though they received this huge amount of money. So I think we as a country are going back to the drawing board.
We have to go back to the drawing board. We have to go back to the drawing board because even the president is not understanding what some of the ministries are
because
doing.
when we get all these loans, one may think it is going to be the start of something new, yes.
So
But surprisingly, we're getting too much money and then we can't even make good use of it.
Robert is asking a question here,
fine.
and
I'm
I
looking
will,
at it
I
this
will
way.
reverberate it for him. What have we done?
If you borrow money from me and you misuse it, that's not my fault.
Yes.
But then, if you're borrowing money on behalf of Ugandans, and it is misused, there is nothing for value of that money. One, why are those people still in offices?
Yes.
Two, what have we done? Because we are going to pay a debt. We have, I think, a public debt of about 86 point something trillion.
It's actually shooting to 89 now.
Now almost 89.
89
If we
trillion.
have people who have been getting us bad loans or not using this money properly,
Why are
this
they
is
still
a
in
loan
their
you're going to pay
offices?
and your children are going to pay.
Yes.
You people. Every budget we have, there's a big portion that goes to public debt.
No, every
services.
individual, or kusasula 1.5 million
So my
Uganda
question
shillings.
is, what are we doing to these
Even the young
heads?
ones.
Yeah, even those who are not yet born.
No, this ginemitwe egitutadde wano. What are we doing for them? Why are they still? Why do we just talk about these things?
I think the president
Guys,
is
you
caution
don't
was-
borrow money on our behalf,
No, I think the
and you
president is,
miyanga, and
Is it, Robert?
just talk about it.
Robert, you see, I think the president's cautious statements were relating to how we need to start living within the means.
And what Robert is saying
So that we
is
don't
that
depend.
we need to move away from just speaking about these things
Okay.
and acting. Because if people have been squandering loans that are supposed to enrich the country,
getting bad loans
or getting bad
for
loans,
us.
why are they still in their offices? Why do they still own that humongous property and money and wealth at the expense of the people of Uganda? That's the question Robert is asking, and that's the question many Ugandans are asking.
The unfortunate bit is I'm also looking forward to getting an answer from especially people that put these particular individuals in office up, our dearest president inclusive. Because it doesn't make sense to talk about what is happening and we're not having action put in place.
Solutions.
But we're going to be going for a very short break. Before we go, Sonko, we have a performance this day.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited, but I'd like to know, who do we expect? Before we go for the break, we could just throw in something for someone to stick around.
Well, of course, after the break, we shall be joined by Andrea Baguma. Of course, he's returning to make sure that he lights up your Friday. I think when we look at the weekend modes, normally in Uganda it is pretty much shaped and driven around entertainment.
Entertainment,
Robert
yes.
is really excited about this. So when you come to think of it, a multi-talented artist who's hailing from the heart of Kampala, Uganda. So he's definitely here to give us a move into the weekend, a rightful move into the weekend. So you will really much be excited because we shall be having deep conversations with him from where he started and of course where he sees the evolution of Ugandan music. Andrea Baguma.
Thank you so much. For that matter, let's get into a very short break and we will be right back.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having disability is not inability.
Every Friday, 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Mukoke Fish Farmers Association tuli balunzi ba byananda ebyebika ebisatu omuli Miracap, tilapia oba engege ni catfish twete male. Group eno twatandika twali abantu basatu nga tulingirira obwetaavu obwebyenanda obw'obwiva eno okubona nti tufuna okasente akava mu maadi agali gatambula butambule nga gatubita ku wano ng'ekirabo. Twatandika ni fish pond ndala mu mwaka gw'e2018. Twebaza fisheries officer ni district ya Bugiri babanga batulagirira ku Sani Fish Farm ebwikwe inside day ndeyo twabanga tusobola okufuna kwetusaako obugege obwasooka era mu mwaka ogwali 2020 awo basobola okubanga batuwaayo ebyenanda emitwalo $40 okuva mu operation Werese Creation era okuba yongereza ku emmere yatuweebwa okuva Ugachik Poultry Breeders. Twasobola okubanga tusoloza akasente akawerera obukayire nga 42. Twasobola okubanga tubuinvestinga oba okubona nti twongerezaako ku bimu ku bintu bye tukola gano. Twebaza gavumenti yaife okubanga buli saawa efaayo okubanga efeeri y'Abannayuganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Greatness is all around us. On pitches, fields, and playgrounds. At home and far away. It lives in the past, and it's in the faces we look up to, and in those we see every day. Greatness is all around us. It takes us beyond limitations, beyond possibility, beyond doubt, beyond expectations. The only question is, where will it take us next?
It's Freaky Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Greatness is all around us. On pitches, fields, and playgrounds. At home and far away. It lives in the past, and it's in the faces we look up to, and in those we see every day. Greatness is all around us. It takes us beyond limitations, beyond possibility, beyond doubt, beyond expectations. The only question is, where will it take us next?
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Excited, we are here in studio. Good morning, Uganda, once again. This is Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. And of course, for you who's just joining in, I think it is better you stick around now, because what we have for you at this particular moment is to kickstart off your Friday in style. We do have a multi-talented artist in studio with us this morning, a man with an advanced background in relation to Afrofusion, guitar playing, and of course world music. I will tell you what, if you're to look at how people are revolutionizing the Ugandan music sphere, this is a talent worth listening to and worth watching. Ladies and gentlemen, as we usher you into our Friday edition, allow me to introduce to you Andrea Baguma.
Hello Uganda, good morning Uganda, this is Andrea Baguma.
Good morning, Andrea.
Good morning.
He's the man behind the Ndongo Monsiko. So it's time for us to let him take over.
First, wait a minute. Ndongo Monsiko.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
You know, Andrea, when we talk about the Ndongo Monsiko, where does the entire thing come from?
It comes from times of COVID when we had nowhere to play from. So we decided to tour around Uganda, but tour around with music.
Okay.
So tour around the world, but with music.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get the details at a later point when we get to interact more. So we'll let you do your thing.
All right. So this first song is Passengers. I just released an EP with an American singer-songwriter, Kate Bess. And this song is one of the songs of the EP.
Kola chori no kola kola, kola chori no kola gwetoloba, kola chori no kola kola, kola chori no kola gweto. 7 days, 7 nights, another week, another month, before you end another year. What are you up to? Nzenkulabo papala tengo budde bukuyitako. Wololo byetuwulira buli we bikutabukako n'okuba endulu. Like wololo, wolala, wolala. Yeah, yeah. Gwe tomanyi tuli bayisi buyisi. We're just passengers, yeah. Gwe tuli batambuze butambuze nnyabo. We're just passengers, yeah. We kola chori no kola kola, kola chori no kola gwetoloba, kola chori no kola kola, kola chori no kola gweto. 7 nights, 7 nights, another week, another month, before you end another year. What are you up to? Time flies like bye, 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 it doesn't mean a thing to you. One when it doesn't go your way. When life gets hard, you rather run away. Like ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. Gwetomanyi tuli bayisi buyisi. We're just passengers, Affe tuli batambuze butambuze sebo. We're just passengers, yeah, yeah. Kola chori no kola kola, kola chori no kola gwetoloba, kola chori no kola kola, kola chori no kola gwetoloba. Opportunity not for minority. When you lack that sensitivity, it goes into vanity. It goes into vanity. Gweboloba no gendo gonda, bano bakuita kao no korima, no tandika no kwero santi no bando zero achiva. Pita kochirabika bomandoze. You do what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do. Hey, kola chori no kola kola, kola chori no kola gweto toloba. Chori no kola kola, kola chori no kola gweto toloba.
So this song is Chiwojolo of the EP Conversations, which I wrote with American singer-songwriter Kate Bass.
Chiwojolo, 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 chiwojolo. Just like a butterfly, I'll fly. Muke mubanga mbere nawe walai. When kulaba kesanyuli nkabya you cry. If you live I might die. Girl should know you connect me to the dots. When I'm sick you're my antidote. This love that you give is my mega prize. Forever surprise. Buli wembera mu birozo ekibitwala yegwe Chiwojolo. Otangalija omeremenya weno tukulanga kirawuli. Chiwojolo change, malaika wange, muntu wange, be my butterfly. Chiwojolo change, malaika wange, muntu wange. Only you, yegwewe kabimala. I'm telling truth, bien kugamba ge mazima. I got no other, sinayo na mulala. Zegwe munyenye yange, and just like Gabrieli, you're my angel. Abayayo goberere ntalo zirwanye, abajane chejo mu mukwano. Bajiro bujonjo maso, oneyagaza, onsanula, nze namegerera wenkulaba. Namwembera mukirote kyentiisa ekiwojjolo gwantasa. Kiwojjolo kyange, malayika wange, muntu wange, be my butterfly. Kiwojjolo kyange, malaika wange muntu wange yeah. Just like a butterfly, I'll fly. Muke mubanga mbele nawe walai. When kulaba kisanyuli nkada you cry. If you leave I might die. Only you grow a kabimala. I'm telling truth. Bien kugamba mazima. I got no other. Sina yona mulala. Zegwe munyenye yange.
UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Ireland have qualified for the Women's World Cup for the very first time.
It's unbelievable.
What a summer to look forward to.
Big girl energy straight out the gate. When I'm up with my boots, yeah, come out the place. And the sun coming up, blue day. All summer long, gonna kill it. Replay. Sydney, Auckland, making waves with my girls down under. Fit it out, hit the toe with my colors. We gon' be the best in it, I'm certain. Strikes defeat, fast as lightning, sound like thunder. Sound the war round, shut the show down. I'm listening, couldn't slow down. On the whole night. Sound the war round, shut the show down.
What an amazing effort. Little John.
Sound the war round, shut the show down.
Set pistol from Little John. Ireland on its way on the world stage. What a summer.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and gets a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
This is Good Morning Uganda Friday special. If you're just joining us, welcome to the show. My name is Chantal Olive Akandinda, joined by Jerome Paul Sonko and Olive Monica Najuma. It's time for us to discuss matters of national importance. Now, this morning, we are going to be asking a very pertinent question, and it goes, how best can government support nationwide boy-child empowerment? Now, this is a discussion we've had countless times, and many times it doesn't get to sink in as much as the girl-child empowerment conversation has sunk in. You will agree with me that right now you're going to find very many empowered ladies and girls, but you're going to find few of the gentlemen or the boys empowered to actually support these ladies, and this has contributed to a number of effects. Like you have a conversation with this lady or this gentleman, and you realize there is even a bit of lack of confidence with this person. Many of these boys lack some bit of empathy, consideration, and the truth is those are some of the signs that you need to look out for when you are looking for someone who is empowered. That person is confident, that person's esteem is up there, that person is empathetic, that person is considerate, and a number of things as we're going to be breaking them down this morning. So how best are we going to be able to support this nationwide boy-child empowerment? And I'd like to right now to speak to the boy-child that we haven't set, Sonko. The question has been posed, but I would like to ask you, you who interacts with fellow men, you have a fairer touch when it comes to boy-child empowerment. Do you feel like, or do you see that there's an imbalance? Because we could be saying there is an imbalance when the boy-child is saying, no, we are good, we are fine. Is there an imbalance anyway?
Well, when you look at the African traditional society, sorry to bring back the ATS to studio this morning, but I think it is a shaping of the society we are in. Okay. It's quite a disadvantage for the boy child, because by the time a boy child is around 20 or even 18 years, you're supposed to start fetching for a living, because now society starts, picturing you in a different way. You're a man already. So that's already a disadvantage. There's actually a saying that normally goes that if I told you're born in Uganda and you're underprivileged or born from a family where you have no connections, you're not coming from a wealthy background, and you're a man, it's Uganda 1, you 0. So you've started a match where you're supposed to break even and then also outbeat the harsh conditions that we have. Well, I think it's quite unfortunate because communities has actually shaped the boy child as a strong person. So there are things that a boy child undergoes, and then we tend to just normalize, not paying attention, because we think as a man or as a boy child, you'll go through that. You are supposed to have figured that out. Yeah, because you're the man, so you're supposed to go through it. And when you talk about empathy, it's very rare to find a man or the male gender under empathy of anyone, whether society or everything. So I think it is something to do with the society upbringing, whereby it is even within us as the men right from childhood that you're supposed to be the champion of a family, or you're supposed to be the breadwinner. Well, when you're starting out.
On the note of being a breadwinner, honestly speaking, that one we can't put it out. That is the absolute truth. But I'd like to speak to Olive in a moment. You have a son, and the boy-child empowerment should come in handy because you have both female and male, and you now know how you want your kids to be. Having had an interaction with men as well, you look at society and how these boys are behaving, how these men are behaving, and is there a gap that needs to be balanced out between the way the boy child has been mentored and empowered and how the girl child has been empowered?
Yeah, of course, yes, of course, there is a gap. And when we go back to where all this started, we will see why we have what we have today, the challenge we have today. In the beginning, there was obviously a gender imbalance. Men were higher, ladies were, for lack of a better word, were like literally on the floor when it came to sharing the national cake, sharing resources and opportunities. So you'll find, if I may go back to the African African traditional society like Sonko started, you'll find that in most societies, especially here in Africa, girls did not have much of a say. They didn't even have a voice. They didn't even have, their rights were really limited. It was the boys that had access to everything. And now, of course, we came in, colonialism, we had education and all that. In the beginning, it's only boys that were sent to school. In the beginning, it's boys that went into the job market. But even when we are to expound and go outside the African continent, women of over time were supposed to play domestic roles. You grow up, you learn to knit, like in the Victorian era, you learned to knit. You were, the most job you could do is a governess, which today we call, I think, a nanny. So you would go into a home for the rich and take care of their children, but you did not have much of a quality education. So we started there. And we said, let's empower the girl child, let's take the girl to school, let's make sure that she has access to the same opportunities that the boy has. But in so doing that, many years later, fast forward 2023, we left the boy behind. There is somewhere where we put so much effort on one part. We gave all the chances to the girls. We have the points they get at senior 6 so that they can be able to join university. Because if you ask me today, I don't think it's necessary anymore, because today there is universal primary education, there is universal secondary education, and when you look at the numbers of girls in school vis-a-vis the number of boys in school, you'll find that there are more girls in schools than boys. Why is this? Because we think that the boy is stronger. We think that the boy is, we take so much away from them because of the strength that they're supposed to have. For instance, if you go to the fishing communities, you're going to find boys are preparing boats, they are cleaning the fish, they are cleaning the nets for the fishmongers, whereas the girls are in school. Back in that day, school was a boy thing. Today, school has become a girl thing. So you'll find that more boys spend time away from school doing things that where they have to expense energy. You want someone to dig a grave, someone died, boys will have to dig the grave. You want someone to fetch water, boys will fetch water. So if, let's say on a village there is no water, who is not going to go to school that day? The boy will not go to school because the home needs him to go and fetch water. But every minute the boy spends outside school is affecting him in the long run. And of course there are things we do and train girls. You teach a girl how to speak, how to carry herself, how to treat a man when the time comes for her to get married. Guess what? No one is talking to the boy child about the same. So you're going to meet a girl, a grown woman that is emotionally intelligent, that is polite, that has empathy. Like you said, boys lack empathy. And then she's going to meet this boy that is rude, self-centered, and has not been talked to about how to carry himself before society. And these two are supposed to sync. Do you really see them sinking?
Definitely not, they would not be sinking, because there is an imbalance.
Yeah.
One is more empowered and the other one is not. And that has also led to a breed of women apparently who are perceived as complicated. Because these men feel like they cannot match up to the kind of energy that these women have. But before we proceed, I would like to call on our dearest viewer. If you are just joining in, we are asking the question, how best can government support boy-child empowerment in the country? And I would like to hear from you, so you can go to our Twitter or X app, and you will be able to find that poll question, and you'll be able to share your opinion. However, you can also talk to us via WhatsApp. You can send us a message 0709602592. That is the number. I repeat, 0709602592, and you'll be able to chat with us and let us know what you think. Were you empowered if you're a boy child? Were you empowered enough for you to be in position, to speak up for yourself, for you to actually put out your emotions? And when we talk about empowerment, we're talking about economically, we're talking about socially, we're talking about spiritually.
Yes.
And the truth is, many times the biggest part of empowerment that has been done or had been done was the financial bit.
For the men.
Yes, for the
the
boys.
child, yeah.
They're telling you, you have to have money. Even if they will say your money is if they say you're called handsome because you have to have something in your hands. You get. So they're telling you, you are supposed to be economically empowered. But they're not telling these people that you're supposed to be socially empowered, supposed to be emotionally empowered, spiritually empowered. When you go to churches, the biggest percentage of people in the churches are female. If you want to influence anything in church, go through the females. The men are usually dragged by their wives or girlfriends, or maybe, okay, they grew up in families where they pray, but still even consistency is lacking. I don't know if
but you see, Chantal, as we speak of the empowerment or these conversations of empowering the boy child, when we put in the government perspective, I think we really need to look at the Ministry of Gender
and
Labour and Social Development.
Yes.
That when we are leading these conversations, even when you go to schools, in most cases, you know, we have women, you know, the women in business or the women with power in society who go to schools to talk to the girl child. There are very few scenarios where we have the boy child brought into, you know, a discussion which is entirely having only the boys in it. And in the long run, you get to realize that the boys feel, left out. That's why I think when you mention the self-centeredness, where we have this main character syndrome, because I know
the alpha male syndrome.
Yeah, I've always grown up with my own support. No one has always pushed me up.
No one is going to come and save
The only
me.
support I've been getting is through criticism.
Right.
Because believe me, in most cases, as a man, you're only going to be criticized to step up. No one is going to come and
extend some grace to you
or babysit you and say, you know what, Sonko, you're good, you need to do this. No. They're only going to tell you you're doing bad.
A man doesn't do that.
They will criticize you and tell you
to
step up, but they won't tell you what you need to do. They won't give you the tools that you need to step up. Yet, these tools have been given to the girl child. So we need to go back to the drawing board and have collective effort in this. We need society, all of us, religious leaders, schools, government, fathers, because partly the reason why the boy child is left behind, partly because the boy child today is bordering on to being lazy, spineless, and ambitionless, is because he is being raised by a mother. Rates of single motherhood are going high and high. And I'm not saying that a woman raising a child by herself, she's weak, but let's face it, there are things only a man can teach a boy.
So we need a fatherly figure in a family.
So you cannot abandon fatherhood and leave mothers to raise boys and expect to raise men that will lead society tomorrow. Because as a mom, what she knows is how to be a woman. So they're going to feminize these boys. Why? Because the father is out of the picture.
That's why we end up having men who hate their fathers, by the way. Because at times, your mother inputs something in you. I'm not saying it is, but quite some times you get to realize, for those who have actually grown up under single mothers, in scenarios where you find the boy child not having interest in sitting down with the father, it is because during childhood they thought the man isn't available in their lives.
Right.
And of course, you get to realize that at times also, one thing where we really need the empowerment of the boy child is a couple of times when the boy is into the adolescent stage or, you know, the early 20s, most of them go into depression because of the current economic status in the country. Remember, at home, they expect you to man up already. They expect you to be somewhere. Now, once you get into this kind of depression, I think this is where even the marijuana concept comes in. People become drug addicts.
They start looking for solace in some of those things.
And in most cases, instead of someone again coming up to help them go through this depression,
they will criticize.
They will criticize them. So it becomes even worse for them. So that is why we are pushing for the boy child empowerment, not as much as the girl child, because if you over empower, we have to have a limit. Maybe.
No, we can
but
have a
including
balance.
them in conversations of empowerment and clearly creating a ground that is pushing for equality,
for both.
then it's good to go.
We have just about 2 minutes to be done with this discussion, and I'd like to pick some of the things that you feel government can do to support the boy-child empowerment in the country.
For instance, before I speak about what the government should do, on October 11th, every year we commemorate the International Girls' Day. And in this, we are remembering and, of course, celebrating the fulfillment and empowerment of the girl child, and also look at the challenges that they are facing going forward, and which is a beautiful thing. We need things like this for the boy child. We need programs that are there to mentor the boys into how to be men. How do we strengthen them to be tomorrow's leaders, to be tomorrow's fathers? How do we need to give them tools, and all this can be in the mentorship programs that can be designed by, let's say, the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. We need to go back, and as we make programs that are for the girl, we also make programs that are for the boy. Go back into the communities, talk to community leaders about empowering the boy child. Because at the end of the day, if your programs are targeting women, these women are going to get to a level where men have to beat them, literally, into submission, because in our African traditional society, we know that the man is supposed to be the leader. So you come to me, you have more money, you are more educated, and I'm supposed to be your husband. Of course, it's not going to work. So we are going to have more cases of domestic violence if we do not empower the boys, because that's what they will know. Men know how to expense energy, and that's what they will do. And of course, if we do not empower the boy children and insist that their parents take them to school, keep them in school, guess what the girls that are in school are facing? They are going to be, when you look at COVID-19, how many girls were impregnated? They were impregnated by the boys, because one boy can impregnate 500 girls in a month if he wants to.
It's the same girl who goes there. You know, when we blame the boys for
No, I'm not blaming. I'm saying one man or boy can impregnate 500 girls in a month if he wants to. One girl can get pregnant once in 9 months, okay, if she doesn't lose it. So what am I saying? If girls are being empowered to keep in school, but at a tender age in adolescence are exposed to these boys that are not in school. Remember, we have initiation practices in some cultures where boys are circumcised to initiate them into manhood. When these boys become men, guess who they are going to poach? The girls that you're trying to keep in school.
It is, I think it's another conversation where we need to remind the boy child that it's, there's something more to life than starting up a family immediately, unless when you're really ready, because at times we need to face up to these responsibilities. I think it's one of the reasons as to why most of the men now, after impregnating a girl child, they tend to run away, and which is something we really need to also put into the men's. It's a mindset thing that we need to remind the boys to step up to their responsibilities, that once you get into anything with a lady, make sure you will overcome any circumstance that comes about, or you have to make sure that at least you take responsibility for anything that happens.
They land running away from the fathers that ran away. So we need to call fathers back to the drawing board and make sure that they raise their sons right.
Well, thank you so much for being part of the conversation. And if you're just joining us, unfortunately, we seem to be running out of time. But thank you for staying with us. And the discussion ends right here. But we'll be taking a look at the dailies, and that is in our country and also some in the East African region.
And as we speak of our dailies this morning, we have the Daily Monitor and the New Vision from the Ugandan perspective. And the Daily Monitor says President Museveni drops the bombshell. That's the headline for Friday's edition of the Daily Monitor, as no holds barred, big, in between the lines there, as President Museveni talks of the new aid and loans, and of course what it means to Uganda. Elsewhere, in regards to the other news, House sticks with Semuju and turns down Mafabi again. That is from the Parliament. And then in the other stories, Nakanyonyi Secondary School. Police confirms food contamination. There's a report of that in the Daily Monitor today. Then on the Kasese attack, government stuck with 4 bodies in there. And in the Scoop magazine, Martha Mukisa and the lockdown Mukisa. Well, you have more of that from the Daily Monitor this morning. Now, as we speak of the other dailies, with the New Vision, still from the Ugandan perspective, President Museveni advises on foreign aid. That is the big header for the New Vision this morning, as President Museveni further tips the youth on wealth creation. Also, the UPDF kills 548 ADF rebels as Mpigi pays 160 million Ugandan shillings to ghost teachers. So the government accounting officers are in Mpigi to make sure that they try to cover up those loopholes and find out where all those particular issues came through. And then over 500 Kampala SACCOs get 16 billion. This is through the Emyoga program. That is the New Vision for you this morning. Now, elsewhere, we cross over to the East African region as we start off from Kenya with the Daily Nation as the BBI Season 2. The big headline for the Daily Nation that is in Kenya. Ahead of last year's presidential election, a campaign to amend the constitution fronted by Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga was resisted by the current president, William Ruto. There's more report in there. Then in regards to appointment, insider to succeed Nodim Haj as DPP. Then also in the health segment, breakthrough as new way to treat prostate cancer available locally. And also, there is a graft suspect claiming 21 million Kenyan shillings was found to pay for dowry, as underage students could miss out on university loans and scholarships. That is according to what the Daily Nation is highlighting. And also lastly from the Daily Nation, Raila Odinga warns US envoy on dabbling in local politics. Now, lastly, with the Citizen, Tanzania, the DR Congo hold up East African Community budget implementation, as winners and losers in the US dollar crunch are also highlighted with the Citizen newspaper this morning. Then also there is a deal which gives graphite mining fresh impetus, as $667 million has been in conversation there. Now, Tanzanian-born Americans thrilling safari experience still with the Citizen newspaper this morning. That's it for the press review.
Thank you so much, Sonko. And at this moment, we will be going for a break. But before that, I would like to hear from Olive about her choice of music and what your take is on Anderea being in the house. I am feeling like the instrument that we are having today is a smooth transition into the weekend. But I would like to hear from you how you're feeling.
First of all, the music is splendid, but also the names, the titles of the song. It reminds me of songs from legends like Philly Lutaya. Not Philly Lutaya, there is Wamala, Eli Wamala. Yes, the way they used to sing, they're like serenading you, marinating your soul, and making you fall in love with the music and maybe fall in love. Yeah.
You
like,
just said
in the true sense of the word. But yeah, my music of choice, I'm all-rounded really. I love country music, I love R&B, I love world music. I don't know if what Anderea sings is world music, but yeah, that kind of thing.
Well, it is actually world music. There's where he infuses it, and I'm looking forward to more performances. So we'll be going for a very short break. When we come back, Anderea is going to be here to entertain us a little more.
Greatness is all around us. On pitches, fields, and playgrounds. At home and far away. It lives in the past, and it's in the faces we look up to, and in those we see every day. Greatness is all around us. It takes us beyond limitations, beyond possibility. Beyond doubt. Beyond expectations. The only question is, where will it take us next?
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too! Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Ireland have qualified for the Women's World Cup for the very first time. It's unbelievable. What a summer to look forward to.
Big girl energy straight out the gate. When I'm up with my boots, yeah, I came out the place. And the sun coming up, blue day. All summer long, gonna kill it. Replay it. Sydney, Auckland, making waves with my girls down under. Fit it out, hit your toe with my colors. We gon' be the best in it, I'm certain. Strikes defeat, fast as lightning, sound like thunder. Sound the world round, shut the show down. I listen and couldn't slow down. On the whole night. Sound the world round, shut the show down.
What an amazing effort. Little John!
Sound the world round, shut the show down.
Set pistol from Little John. Ireland on its way on the world stage. What a summer!
Good morning, Uganda. Andere Aguma once again. This song is titled Akana Kange, which literally translates to my daughter. Akana Kanga Kobo Wala.
Manyi nti ompulira, kaana kange wobanga ompulira, komawo ewaka taata kusonyiye, komawo ewaka ne maama kusonyiye, laba wava mu ssomero n'ogenda ne Beni, Beni owagaviiri yatwala omwana wange, naye Beni alabika bubi nnyo, mpulira nti agaaya n'obukola, tabanga yakussa mu bikosi, akaana kange ak'obuwala, akaana kange nze ak'obuwala, jangu ewaka akaana kange, komawo ewaka mwana wange, akaana kange nze ak'obuwala, akaana kange nze ak'obuwala, jangu ewaka akaana kange, komawo ewaka mwana wange. Yesu, Yesu, Yesu wange. Yesu, Yesu wange. Inkukode mirundi mingi. Nyambo kume akana kange. Simanyi chekalya. Simanyi wekebaka. Mpulira bakalabe mu ghetto inti kaigana amazina g'engeri akana kange akobuwala akana kange nze akobuwala jangwe waka akana kange koma we waka mwana wange mwana wange kara kange tobanga wazalira omuyaye omwana tabanga yazalira beni swadenze kale obanga wazala kana kalete tekaina musango naye toleta beni tonetere kiyaye wange kale wabanga beni aterera mudde waka basonyiye mudde waka mukole embaga omponye okuswala naonekena akana kangenze akobuwala akana kangenze akobuwala
Yeah, so that was Akana Kange of the Anderea album. And this song is a single titled Loco. I am loco and I'm proud to be so.
Loco, loco, eh. Yo akunu. I am loco, loco, eh. Yo akunu. Loco, loco, eh. Yo akunu. I am loco, loco, eh.
I'm proud of who I am, I'm proud of what I am. I'm proud to be Uganda and I'm proud of where I'm at.
I don't care what the world says about my nation. This heart is filled with obsession of the surroundings that are not put in the readings. Sifayo, city day, bichivye bogera. Oh dear future wife, come ready for the life. Syria burger, Syria pizza, Syria mere nzungu. Ndyalumonde omuchere n'akawunga. Emineche n'ebichori. Loco, loco, eh. Yo akunu. I am loco, loco, eh. Yo akunu. Loco, loco, eh. Yo akunu. Loco, loco, eh.
Ze waffe gyenzalwa wane Uganda gyensibuka. Ze waffe gyenzalwa abaana bakuzibwa n'empisa. Baana tebadda mu bannyaabwe yengo tandika otya. Gundi otandika otya. Gibeera miggo kukubwa kuba kusekulwa. Abaana bayimba obuyimba obusanyusa. Bali bannaffe bye bayimba nze byannema. Ngu twinkle twinkle little stars bikandema. Ffe wano tuyimba obuyimba nga buno nkobu nga buno nkoba. Dingi dingi dole wali wayo nonye yalide kijanjalo ne Kim Spelling oluto. Dingi dingi dole wali wayo nonye yalide kijanjalo ne chi.
What? Loco, loco, eh. Yo akunu. I am loco, loco, eh. Yo akunu. Loco, loco, eh. Yo akunu. I am loco, loco, eh. Oh, na holy.
Ulikiza nkugambire. East to west home is bestie.
kahabonire enkuba ketonyetya musana kagwake gutya bawana zawe nange mpana yange bayimba zawe nange nyimba yange. Authenticity lies in Uganda. It's upon us to make it worldwide. Authenticity lies in my nation. It's upon us, upon us, upon us. Laka laka yeah. Joakunu, I am laka laka yeah. Joakunu, laka laka eh. Joakunu, I am laka laka eh. Joakunu. Joakunu, Joakunu.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Juko. Yo. What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sevatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Greatness is all around us. On pitches, fields, and playgrounds. At home and far away. It lives in the past, and it's in the faces we look up to, and in those we see every day. Greatness is all around us. It takes us beyond limitations, beyond possibility, beyond doubt, beyond expectations. The only question is, where will it take us next?
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
You are still watching Good Morning Uganda on UBC Television. My name is Chantal Olive Akandinda, and I am here with your movies just to recommend. But before that, many thanks to you and Dereya for the beautiful music you are giving us, launching us into the weekend. I hope you are enjoying, because I am, and hopefully you get to find some energy for the weekend. I mean, you've worked your heels off the whole week, so why not find a reason to launch into the weekend? And there is a lot of activities that you can do aside from watching Good Morning Uganda, where we give you the great music early morning. Well, you can choose to do other activities, but let's go straight into the movies and find out what are the recommendations for this weekend, in case you, my friend, feel like you want to stay in or you want to catch some of these movies at the cinema. Now, the first one I'm going to start with is Oppenheimer. Now, Oppenheimer is a 2023 drama thriller. If you are someone that is interested, you might want to catch up with that one, and it goes for 3 hours. And briefly, during World War II, Lieutenant General Leslie Groves Jr. appoints physicist, that is J. Robert Oppenheimer, to work on the top secret Manhattan Project. Oppenheimer and a team of scientists spend years developing and designing what we call an atomic bomb. Now, their work comes to fruition on July 16th, 1945, as they witness the world's first nuclear explosion, forever changing the course of history. You might want to catch up on that. Let's take a look at the trailer and we'll be back.
Death.
This is a national emergency.
Detonator charged.
We're in a race against the Nazis. And I know what it means if the Nazis have a bomb.
We have a 12-month head start. 18. How could you possibly know that?
We've got one hope. All America's industrial might and scientific innovation connected here. A secret laboratory. Keep everyone there until it's done.
Let's go recruit some scientists.
Build a town, build it fast. If we don't let scientists bring their families, we'll never get the best.
Why would we go to the middle of nowhere for who knows how long?
Why? Why? How about because this is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the world?
You're the great improviser, but this you can't do in your head.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world?
Chances are near zero.
Near zero.
What do you want from theory alone?
0 would be nice.
This is a matter of life or death. But I can perform this miracle.
World War II would be over. Our boys would come home.
That's happening, isn't it?
World.
Oppenheimer right there, in case you are someone that loves you some action thriller. That is the recommendation we have for you this weekend. Now, this particular movie was released on the 21st of July and 2023 in the US, and it was directed by Christopher Nolan, and music composed by Ludwig, that is Göransson, and the budget was about $100 million US. Yes, and it is distributed by Universal Pictures. So please do go ahead and catch yourself some movie. This movie this very weekend. I mean, you can't afford to get yourself bored. And away from that, we take a look at another one. This is Blue Beetle. Now, Blue Beetle is an action adventure. If you're someone that loves action adventure movies, this is for you this weekend. You can decide to catch up on that. Now, Jaime Reyes suddenly finds himself in possession of an ancient relic of alien biotechnology called it was called the Scarab. When the Scarab chooses Jaime to be its symbiotic host, he is bestowed with an incredible suit of armor that is capable of extraordinary and unpredictable powers, and forever changing his destiny as he becomes the superhero Blue Beetle. Take a look at the trailer.
Host acquired.
Who said that?
Systems checking. 3, 2. Host overreacting.
Overreacting? You
Post protection. Threat eliminated.
What do you think the government is gonna do when they figure out that some kid has this military tech?
We are going to change the world with the power of the Scarab. It belongs to me.
Watch out, watch out! Oh, he's pissed. Listen to me! Uptown, baby. You got the wrong guy! I'm a nobody! I swear! I was down, but they see I'm up now, baby.
The world is a place to protect. I have an arsenal at my disposal.
Anything, please!
Watch and learn, Jaime. Whatever you can imagine, I can create.
Yeah, that's more like it.
That love you feel for your family makes you weak.
You're wrong. My family, that's what makes me strong.
Oh, I forgot how bad it looks. Target the family.
Well, if you are someone that is into heroes, then maybe there is a new hero that has been created out there. Blue Beetle is the movie. If you are someone that loves that kind of action, then you might want to catch up on that. And I believe Sonko would be the kind that loves to catch up on such a movie. For me, I like something more realistic. But just to give you a little bit of detail, it was released on the 17th of August 2023, which happens to be yesterday. And the director was Angel Manuel Soto, and it spent about $120 million US. That was the budget. Produced by Peter Safran, John Rickard, and Zev Foreman. Distributed by Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers Pictures. That is the movie right there, Blue Beetle. But I still have a recommendation if you are someone that is still into what we call comedy and sci-fi. Now, if you are that kind of person, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but this time Mutant Mayhem is what I am talking about. Now, after years of being sheltered from the human world, the Turtle brothers set out to win the hearts of New Yorkers and be accepted as normal teenagers. Their new friend April O'Neil helps them take on a mysterious crime syndicate, but they soon get getting over their heads when an army of mutants is unleashed upon them. This is the trailer.
That seems very dangerous.
Eat danger for breakfast.
Actually, I eat pizza with bits of waffles on it.
With the funniest cast ever assembled.
Surprise!
Yes, bro.
Enough.
Oh, man. You can't stop us. Lock and load.
We're the only ones who can do this.
I'm awesome.
We're brothers. We fight together. We're just getting started.
Yeah, she sounded like a leader. I do? Oh, I do! Oh, I sound like such a leader. And you ruined it.
Ninja Turtles.
Remember, don't let any human see you.
So guess what? The kids are coming back home, and this is one of the most famous ways to keep them occupied in the house. So, and I also do know that there are parents and youth who are in their 30s who like to watch animations, but comedy, sci-fi, this is for you to be able to watch. Anime, they call them anime, right? I can assure you, those words don't sound well when I say them, because myself, I wouldn't sit to watch. Maybe at a later point when I have kids, I'll think about sitting down with them to watch and see. But release date, like I said, the release date was on the 2nd of August 2023, and the director Jeff Rowe, produced by Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, James Weaver, of course, and distributed by Paramount Pictures. those are the movie recommendations that we had for you this morning. So this weekend, you might want to choose which one you would want to watch. If one of those really works out pretty well for you, if you're thinking of catching a movie, they are also available in the cinemas. So please do go and entertain yourself. Now, let's cross over and check out our book recommendations for the people that love to read, the sophisticated ones, the likes of Olive that like to have a good read. Now, this particular read, the title is Crook Manifesto, and this is by Colson Whitehead. If you are someone that is interested in having a good read, then this is the book for you. Now, two-time Pulitzer winner, that is the author Colson Whitehead's new novel continues the saga of crooked furniture salesman Ray Carney, who readers may know from the acclaimed 2021 novel Harlem Shuffle, set in a chaotic 1970s Harlem. The three-part novel follows Ray as he attempts to stay out of trouble and negotiate a city running on a combination of what we call chronism, corruption, ego, threats, and pride. Like its predecessor, Manifesto is both deceptively substantive and sneakily funny, and that is according to the LA Times. There is a great deal of love in the author's portrait of his native city. His gimlet-eyed observations, The Guardian praises the compelling energy of a crime thriller and the sharp wit of social satire. Meanwhile, the Telegraph reviewer sums up Crook Manifesto gave something I had missed in reading, and that is joy. So you might want to grab yourself a copy and occupy yourself. Have some wine, have some tea, depending on what you prefer to occupy yourself with when you are having a very good read. Now, that is it for our book recommendation. Crook Manifesto by Colson Whitehead is what we are talking about. Now, briefly, let's take a look at some bit of entertainment news and on the international scene. If you are in my age or slightly older, then you know Britney Spears, and you are very well conversant with some of her music. Now, Britney Spears has had a number of scandals, ranging from the fallout with her father when he was managing her, and all the scandals that we have seen. Now, Britney Spears' husband, this time, that is Sam Asghari, says their marriage is over. Now, a divorce petition was filed on Wednesday and seen by news outlets, and this cited irreconcilable differences between Mr. Asghari of 29 years and Miss Spears, who is 41 years of age. The couple got engaged in September 2021 and were married in a small but star-studded ceremony in June 2022. Rumors of their marital struggles were reported in the tabloids, but and then Miss Spears became a global superstar after her song Baby One More Time was released when she was just 16. She went on to have hits including Toxic, Womanizer, and, well, very many others. And in a post, Mr. Asghari said, after 6 years of love and commitment to each other, my wife and I have decided to end our journey together. We will hold on to the love and respect we have for each other, and I wish her the best always. And goes ahead to say, happens. That's a word I couldn't say on air. Asking for privacy seems ridiculous, so I will just ask for everyone, including media, to be kind and thoughtful. That picture right there is of Britney Spears and Mr. Asghari. So sad that most of our celebrities, especially those that we love and look up to, for those that have been there for years, they usually end up having lots of marriages, and sometimes the marriage is not lasting well. That is it that is happening in the Britney camp, and in the entertainment news, that is what is happening. Thank you for staying with us. Coming up is going to be sports updates.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Greatness is all around us. On pitches, fields, and playgrounds. At home and far away. It lives in the past And it's in the faces we look up to, and in those we see every day. Greatness is all around us. It takes us beyond limitations, beyond possibility, beyond doubt, beyond expectations. The only question is, where will it take us next?
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Mukoke Fish Farmers Association tuli balunzi ba byananda ebyebika ebisatu omuli Miracap, tilapia oba engege ni catfish twete male. Group eno twatandika twali abantu basatu nga tulingirira obwetaavu obwebyenanda obw'ibwa eno okubona nti tufuna okasente akava mu maadi agali gatambula butambule nga gatubita ku wano ng'ekirabo. Twatandika ni fish pond ndala mu mwaka gw'e2018. Twebaza fisheries officer ni district ya Bugiri babanga batulagirira ku Sun Fish Farm ebuyikwe inside day dindeyo twabanga tusobola okufuna kwetusaako obugege obwasooka era mu mwaka ogwali 2020 awo basobola okubanga batuwaayo ebyenanda emitwalo $40 okuva mu operation Werese Creation era okuba yongerezaako emmere yatuweebwa okuva Ugachik Poultry Breeders. Twasobola okubanga tusoloza akasente akawerera obukayire nga 42. Twasobola okubanga tubuinvestinga oba okubona nti twongerezaako ku bimu ku bintu bye tukola gano. Twebaza gavumenti yaife okubanga buli saawa efaayo okubanga efe eri Abannayuganda.
Good morning. My name is Ruben Pima. Chibirango. Good to be here this morning. I got a message yesterday before I left here that someone was asking me about the local basketball. And for me, I followed it from the start to where we are today. But the players were asking, are no longer playing for any basketball team. I mean, Boniface Okello, I last saw him on the touchline for the, I think it was KCCA Leopards. That's the KCCA netball team, rather basketball team. And then Martin Okwako, I don't really know where Martin Okwako is, if you ask me. Jonathan Egau was playing for, there was a team that actually he went to the Oilers and got injured, and he had not really come back to what he used to be in terms of rhythm on that court. Then Norman Blick is a coach of a ladies team. I just forget the name. So those all the players you've mentioned, besides Jonathan Egau, others have really left the court because of age, injury, like Martin Okwako and Boniface Okello. They were really old people who couldn't play up to 40. The only player who has played up to, I think, the wrong age of 30 or 40 plus was Stephen Omonyi, who played for Falcons, and then Falcons were relegated. And then he went to the Oilers for a season or two. That's the only player who can talk about here who has played up to 40 plus years. Anyway, but back into what we have on the menu. There are games that will be commencing today, of course, from various leagues, from all leagues. Friday, we shall have Bremen against Bayern Munich. That will be at 9:30. You can catch those games. Before going to the Premier League, Edmond, let's try to clear up the Friday fixture. Then, of course, Forest will take on Sheffield United. That will be at 9:45 as well today. Then in Spain, Mallorca will take on Villarreal. The Yellow Submarines will be in action tonight at 8:30. Then Valencia will take on Las Palmas. That will be also tonight at exactly 10:30. Tomorrow proper, the leagues will be commencing. Many of them will be returning tomorrow. Of course, in England, there's no early kickoff, but you have the late kickoff between City and Newcastle. But of course, the first 6 games will be at 5. But Fulham will take on Brentford. That will be at Craven Cottage. Then Liverpool will take on Bournemouth at Anfield. The Luton Burnley game has been postponed because of the stadium for Luton. Their stadium is not yet complete. So all the home games are called off until a further notice. Wolves will take on Brighton. That will be at 5, and it will be at Molineux. Then Spurs will take on Man U. That will be at 7:30 at the New London Stadium. And the last game will be City taking on Newcastle, and that will be at 10 p.m. tomorrow. Then, of course, on Sunday in English Premier League, we shall have Aston Villa taking on Everton at 4 and 6. And 6:30, Chelsea will travel to West Ham to play in the London Derby. That will be on Sunday. Then, of course, tomorrow in the Serie A, I'll start with the La Liga tomorrow. We'll have Sociedad taking on Celta Vigo. Almeria will take on Real Madrid. That will be at 8:30. Then Osasuna will take on Atletico Bilbao. That will be at 10:30 p.m. tomorrow. And of course, on Sunday in La Liga, we'll have Girona against Getafe. Barcelona will take on Cadiz, and Betis will take on Atletico Madrid. That will be on Sunday in La Liga. And the Serie A returns tomorrow as well. We'll take you through the games we have in the Serie A. Empoli will take on Hellas Verona. The Hellas Verona team that had Luca Toni before the 2006 World Cup will take on Empoli. And then if Frosinone is back into the Serie A, they will take on Napoli at 7:30. Girona will take on Fiorentina at 9:45, and Inter will play Monza, and that will be at 9:45 as well. Then on Sunday in the Serie A, Roma will take on Salernitana. Sassuolo, the team that had Baradi. Baradi is a good striker, if you ask me. I will take on Atlanta. That will be a free scoring game. Both teams love to attack. Then there is a Lecce against Lazio. That will be at 9:45. That will be on Sunday. And the last game will be Udinese against Juventus. Those who watched Udinese in the last 20 years will talk about Antonio Di Natale, who was one of their best players for a decade also at Natali. Otherwise, the French league also will return, and Lille will take on Nantes, Le Havre will take on Brest, Lorient will take on Nice, Reims will take on Clermont Foot, Monaco will take on Strasbourg, and Lens will take on Renault. That will be in the French League 1. Unless otherwise, but I think those are the leagues we need to talk about here. There's nothing to talk about. I'll turn you on Monday and give you more regarding the results from such games. But those whose messages haven't responded to, I think I'll do that on Monday. Some of them are not sports messages. They're just asking personal questions. But what I would tackle is between Hannah and the college and Budo, which is the best rugby team, Ruben? But of course, I would choose the college. Much as my days we lost against SMAC. Can you imagine losing against SMAC in our own backyard in 2000? SMAC traveled to Namibia and beat Namibia College. I think it was 35 tries to 17, and the gates were closed. You don't go away after defeating Namibia within the college. What happened after, I can't explain. But Odosh and other people can explain how how the weavers were smoked out of the college. I can't explain that, but it was actually the war that did take place, and I remember the headmaster coming up to really be in charge and telling us that they should let the boys leave. But how could you come and beat us 35-17? Anyway, but of course, for me, if you ask me, The best rugby school, of course, now, it's going to be Hannah. Hannah has underage teams which are very, very good. They have good players. I watched the under 15 playing against Hannah under 15 playing against Budo under 15, and I was so impressed by the guy called Sam Foka, who was the fly half. I mean, the size and the command he had on that rugby pitch was second to none. Then also away from the Nugu Banton, SMAC seems to have a good team assembled. The under 19s for SMAC are very good. If the boys keep their heads down and play rugby, they are so good. The Namiang College is only good when it comes to under 21s, under 19. Yes, they have a good team, but Hannah, SMAC would have better underage teams than the college. But if it was supposed to be from the heart, I'd love to see the college take charge. But it's difficult because they've got to groom players like they used to do before. I mean, I used to go to Chadondo to watch Heathens against the Pirates, and I could see over 7 Ngonians playing in such clubs. Today, it's not the same way. I mean, you go watch other players play and you ask yourself, what happened to the underage teams? Can they feed clubs? Of course, generations come and go, and things have changed a lot at the college. Now rugby is a good sport, yes, respected around the college, but a few people pay attention to it. Now it's looking the other side of the games. I've got to go. I'll hand over to the team, take you through up the hour of 9. We shall turn you on Monday and give you more updates regarding sports, and I will give you the tips, those who love betting. Why do you if you don't go for a win, go for just an over. Over is 3 goals in a single game, and the Dutch Eredivisie has a lot of goals that teams score, so you can go to that league and get the goals and maybe press your ticket there. But I don't support betting. It can really traumatize you as a person. Good morning.
Greatness is all around us. On pitches, fields, and playgrounds. At home and far away. It lives in the past, and it's in the faces we look up to, and in those we see every day. Greatness is all around us. It takes us beyond limitations, beyond possibility, beyond doubt, beyond expectations. The only question is, where will it take us next?
Every year on August 12th, Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate the International Youth Day. This year's belated national celebrations will be held at Shigezi High Primary School in Kabale on Friday under the theme Accelerating Recovery from COVID-19 and Full Implementation of the 2030 Agenda, the Role of Youth. The youth, who form a significant part of our population, face challenges ranging from disrupted education to job losses, decreased access to resources, and mental health concerns. The theme underscores the resilience, determination, and ingenuity of our young generation. The President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Tibiharo Museveni, is expected to preside over the event. The public is invited to attend. Announcement by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development with the support from UNFPA.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday, 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
my role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, we'll be back from the sports updates with Ruben Pima Chibirango. I think with the fact that we're heading into the weekend, those are some of the things that entice the Ugandan weekend conversations. And as a matter of fact, many thanks for sticking around with us. You are still watching UBC's Good Morning Uganda. The hashtag is UBC GMU Friday edition. And we are definitely here to make sure that as we are inspiring your morning, we as well give you information which is quite relevant and to push you throughout the entire weekend, as you will definitely be missing us, I should say, till we return on Monday. But surely, of course, we did have our poll question of the day, onto which Chantal Kandinda is definitely going to be giving us your feedback. The poll question, as you've definitely seeing on your screen, was suggesting how best can government support boy-child empowerment in the country, and of which, of course, we have different opinions from our dear viewers who have actually sent in through the WhatsApp number to clearly give in their views in relation to what the government should do. Fast forward, let's get to Shantala Kandinda to give us your views and opinions on that matter.
Well, as you can see the poll question as displayed on your screen, what can government do? How best can government, be part of this or support boy-child empowerment? Now, we do have some comments that came in, and we are so glad that you get to be part of the show every single morning. This poll question, do remember, runs the whole show. The whole time the show is running. So you, my friend, are in position to be able to comment and let us know what you think on these matters of national importance. Now, this comment says, "Thank you for this topic. I advise my boys to work 4 times the women does, because no one can help you. Government, universities, companies, jobs and everything, it's the females considered. That is why we have no empathy. I am successful because of my too much hard work. And people only respect you if you have money." I can assure you, my dear, this goes for both men and women. If you don't have money, you don't speak anywhere. And if your wife has more money than you, she can even slap or cane you. So it's better for a man to try always and get money. I am Anthony from Sorority. Anthony, this is very sad. This is why we're advocating for boy-child empowerment, because you can't be beaten.
Because
neither should a man beat a woman.
If a woman beats you up, rather if a man beats you up, we then hear of conversations of gender-based violence.
Right.
Of course, we hear where is the police and everything. But in scenarios where a man is beaten, and we have those scenarios, by the way, so common,
which are not reported.
We rarely hear women being imprisoned for the same.
Usually, by the time a woman is provoked to beat, so they say, by the time a woman is provoked to beat you up and actually beats you up properly, my friend, we are questioning certain things. But let's get deeper into the comments. Good morning, UBC. I am Felix. Regarding the boy-child empowerment, yes, us boy-child, us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are we are left behind in many sectors of life, like financially, emotionally, spiritually. There is a contradiction in empowerment. Empowered girls are walking the talk in some sectors of life, like spirituality, emotion, finance. We also see girl child not walking the talk in some key areas of life, like marriage, which is the foundation. This is we're trying to balance here the foundation of family, and yet they are running to have families which they don't have the foundation. Well, I guess it takes two to tango. Let's help each other here. Let's not keep throwing the ball to the girls and to the boys. We all have work to do, and I'm hoping that we all get our work done. Now, this one also says, good morning, guys. Earlier on, it was okay for boys, but nowadays, girls have covered the trend, leaving boys as public and jungle hustlers. Well, you, my dear, might need to be reminded that if it's the point of hustling, we all hustle the same these days. But I would like to talk to Baguma Anderea as another gentleman on set this morning, and I'd like to hear from him when it comes to the aspect of boy-child empowerment. One, how can government support, and what is your take on boy-child empowerment?
So I feel like the government should, the same way we have organizations fighting for ladies empowerment and also all the sorts
programs
of things.
And all.
Yeah, we should have those programs for the gentlemen as well, for the boys. They should be trained on how to handle an independent woman. How do you handle this lady who is elite and educated and they have their money?
Financially stable. And don't get slapped.
Yes, yes, and don't get slapped, and then don't get have feet on your head as well.
Right.
So there needs to be a balance between the two kind of things, because now we can't go back to the 8 years, but also we can't let civilization take us away from who we are.
Right.
Yeah.
So government should make sure that much as there are initiatives put in place for the girl child, there are also initiatives put in place for the boy child.
Yeah, but
and growing up, you will realize that this girl is groomed from the time she's young. You remember your sisters, the time she makes a mistake, be like, who will marry you if you're not tidy? Who will marry you if you're not clean? If you're not organized? Who tells the boys those things?
Conversations have actually changed now. The girl child is actually being told, make your money. Let no man try to control you. And the issue is, so the girl child thinks by getting into a relationship, if you are to be submissive, the man wants to control you. Now, I think it brings us back to what Baguma was saying, that we shouldn't let modernization take us away from the traditional setting that shaped the African families and everything.
We can have this conversation the whole day, and especially on the point of submission. I believe this is a point that has been very much misunderstood and preached wrongly on the streets and on social media and everywhere, but you can't get into that conversation. I would like to know more about Anderea, and I'm hoping that we will first put aside all these things and just get into some more music, but for now, we would like to know more about Anderea.
Yeah, Anderea, singer, songwriter, guitarist. I sing to live and live to sing. I aspire to inspire before I expire. Yeah.
Well, Anderea, if you can take the viewers back a little bit more of your musical journey. How does it start? Where does the inspiration come from, especially doing this type of music, which is of a rare breed in the Ugandan market?
Yeah, I grew up, it goes back to my childhood. I always loved music. I knew I was going to be a musician when I was in my primary 3. But then at home, my mother used to listen to Kadongo Kam music. That was the order of the day.
That's how you learned the guitar?
No, that's not how I learned the guitar. I learned the guitar later on in my Form 1. And then I have influences from Radio Mose, Maurice Kiria, and then Richard Bona and Asa from Nigeria. So I have an appreciation of music from all different kind of genres and styles. But I also love to, I'm a man who is so enthusiastic about selling who we are as Ugandans through our performing arts. Why should we continue portraying a Western kind of culture in our music? Why should we continue portraying a Western kind of culture in our movies? We need to adapt to our sounds, just like what Nigerians are doing. It's just one beat that was gotten from the many indigenous beats that has become the topic today. So we have very many rhythms in Uganda today. Why can't the producers and the musicians and all these sorts of guys sit down and we create our sound? Because it's there. So that's when I'm composing music, I want to tell a story. I want the white man, in quotes, to also fantasize about Africa, not the safari Africa of animals and bushes. They should also fantasize about Africa like we used to fantasize about the countrymen who used to wear hats.
And I heard you mention something to do with some of the the foreigners you've actually worked with,
Mhm.
or even with your latest EP.
Yes.
How do you get in touch with these names? How do you get in touch with them? How do you sell out your ideas? Because I believe we have quite a number of young aspiring artists in your line of music, but they don't know how to break through or to work with these people. How do you get this social network? How do you establish yourself as a brand?
Well, today's world is a global village.
Right.
So, and you're only naive and illiterate if you choose to. So with all this technology, it's not that easy, but you should be able to communicate with different people from all around the world. So through my social medias, and then I met Kate Bass when she came for a program here as a tutor and instructor for young artists and something. So through the American Embassy, and that's where we met, and then we had talks, and the talks became conversations, and then the conversations became the
music,
EP,
right?
became the music.
So you put it into the practical part of it. An inspiration to the young. Let's look at a young child who's either in primary. You said you had the dream from primary 3. So to look at high school, some of us, realize our potentials in high school, pretty much all level. So I believe quite a number of people realize what they can do, their potentials, or their career path. They start their career path in high school. What kind of inspiration would you give someone who has high interest in music, regardless of the genre or what, but they want to, be up there, remain consistent, and also get some money out of it?
Yeah. I think now I'm inspiring to the young person there who doesn't know where to start. And I think the best way to start is to start. You see, when your purpose and vision and dream is God-given, nature will connive to help you to make it work. But just to add on, I have a workshop coming up on 11th September. It's going to be around the regions, a workshop that will guide independent musicians, aspiring indie musicians, on how to start, maintain and improve and develop their careers. Because we have so many people who don't know where to start. How do I record a song? How do I release a song? What do I need to do after? So those are the things I want to be helping people to start, maybe to guide using my experience.
The music industry has grown. And when you sit to talk to some musicians, they'll tell you about the costs that they incur when it comes to having a producer, having a manager, putting music together and everything. Someone out there wants to start, but this person doesn't have the money, so they think, or they feel like, I need too much money to start. Is that actually a myth, or is it true there is need for money to start, but maybe you can start small or something? I'm trying to help someone out there who feels like it's a lot to start.
One of my mentors, the late Anita Sasra, told me, never let the lack of money be an obstacle to your dreams, Gweande. So never let the lack of money be an obstacle to your dreams. So it's true, we need money. Everything needs money. But however small you have, you must start somewhere. You must start somewhere. Then you use what you have to get what you don't have.
Great. Thank you so much, Andy, for sharing your experience. Unless if Sonko has another question for you, we might be calling it a wrap.
My last question would simply be, in his music catalog, which particular storyline do you remember so well, or which kind of song do you look at and say, well, I think I outdid myself with this?
Wow, that's a tough one, but I love Akana Kanga Kobuwala.
The one you performed for us before the break. Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, because I grew up in the ghettos of Kamo Church, Fumbira. And whenever a parent caught a boy and a girl in a relationship, they would arrest the boy and leave the girl. So I wrote a story about that, just to show that we need a balance of things. Yeah,
it's not a one-sided move.
Yeah, so that's why I wrote this song, Akana Kange, and I wrote it on a candle.
Wow.
Yeah, there was no light then, but I remember when I was writing the song.
Wow.
Yeah. I would like to ask you one more question. Did you ever meet Eli Wamala, or from whom do you draw your inspiration for the kind of music that you do?
Wow. As I said, I have so many influences. But I never met Elu Wamala,
Okay.
but I love his music and I listen to him. I listen to Kafela, I listen to Sebata, I listen to Vasude, I listen to Richard Bona, I listen to Ed Sheeran, so it's a lot really.
That's a course.
But I can say that the person who really fueled me listening to him was Maurice Kiria and radio. Maurice Kiria for the musicality, and then radio for his lyricism.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then you felt like at least you have a direction now.
Yeah.
Well, I also love the fact that you've actually been, so direct with the lyrics. I believe it's, for example, the Kana Kanga Kobwala.
Yes,
it speaks, it gives out information.
Yeah.
It directs, it gives us that story of what really happens while someone is at school.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a message to the Ugandans out there. Maybe also lastly from me, how can Ugandans get your music? How can they be able to follow you? And also, I think now music is now a lot more business than ever before. Someone needs to pay for the music at a given site.
Yeah.
How can they access your music now?
So my music is available on all streaming sites. And yeah, like Spotify, Tidal. You just need to type that name, Anderea Baguma. And then you can also follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, Anderea Baguma. And then you will be in the know, and in the loop of the know when I have shows and events. And that's the only way you can support me, yeah, and buy the music.
Okay, and just to tell you this, there is a lot of love and appreciation for your music and your performance on social media. So we are super glad to have you here, and just to say you're very talented, and you're gonna need to see more of you. So yeah, I think for now we're going to call it a wrap and say have a good weekend. Thank you for watching UBC Television. Thank you for waking up with us every single morning. Every single morning. We thank you for waking up with us. But we're going to be leaving you with Anderea with some more performances from me and the team. Sonko, unless you have something to say. For me and the team, it's a good weekend to you.
I'm a son of a president, though Chasula mu local residency. Ndiwamanyi tonzala, I dream big and I got a lot of confidence. Sebai on a mansion inga ya de gola bakati ya Chasula eri mu ghetto. He who sits in me is the King of Kings. So I worry not cause I know he's got it all. I'm so big, so rich, so VVIP. Gwagade tamanyi ntegera. Oyo yenze, I'm a son of a president. Yenze, ninze, in a local residence. Ninze, oyo yenze, I'm a son of a president. Yenze. I'm afraid you might be shocked if I told you that I'm not poor at all. Nkubaka fana nyoka teleke cause I'm sure with time moja kuwato chantegera. Ndi mwana wa mutindo sachisanira nalonde wakatonda. Kwa wakana siku kayanya Yesu rali kukwata koja kujulira. Oyo yenze, I'm a son of a president. Yenze, ninze, in a local residence. Ninze, oyo yenze, I'm a son of a president. Yenze, seba I speak good English. Siringa bali abajweteke bijweteke. Mukama yansomesa, I hold a degree. I'm so intelligent yet so talented. Mukama nkwebaza wampo kukiriza abana abazabye nkole manyi bali kiriza nganda zigiridanda 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 zigiribamba zigiridanda zigiribamba zigiridanda zigiriza son over president, son over president, son of a president in a local residency, son of a president in a local residency.
That was Son of a President of the album Anderea. You can find my music on Spotify, Tidal, and anywhere that you want. Now, my last song is titled Anderea, and Anderea is me, and the album is titled Anderea. Biti Anderea nsula wali mu kiyembe, ne anjula njagala manye nkumanye, oli mulungi nkutya naye nkwagala gwe, wanyiriridde mu kagoye akakabulu, olinga omusana ogwakaboneka, gye bakuzaala enjuba gyesibuka, erinnya lyo n'ennamba nyamba mbifune naawe, njagala just onfuula omwami w'oggwe, nze kuba nkwesunga nnyo nnyo, nze nkwegomba nnyo, nze muli kwesunga nnyo nnyo, nze nkwegomba nnyo, nina obugoye ntera ng'okunyuma mundabye, kusuubiza obutakuswaza mu bano, tontyabambye binyiza simanyi, nja kufuuba nga nkolenga ebyo ebisanyusa, sekamu woti nengera future yange, nkwataku wano omutima guterere, nziramu nno ne bw'oba ng'onvuma, naye bw'osirika neeraliikirira naawe ng'ate nkwesunga nnyo nnyo, nze nkwegomba nnyo, nze muli kwesunga nnyo nnyo, nze nkwegomba nnyo. Ngambaro najja, ngambaro itakuwano, ngambaro najja ntege, nesala obuwelo nze ngambaro najja, ngambaro itakuwano, ngambaro najja ntege, na 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 na, kyokka nkwesunga nnyo nnyo, nze nkwegomba nnyo, nze muli kwesunga nnyo nnyo, nze nkwegomba nnyo, nkwesunga sunga sunga nnyo nnyo, nze nkwegomba gomba gomba nnyo, nawe nkwesunga sunga sunga nnyo nnyo, nze nkwegomba gomba gomba nnyo. Biti Anderea nsula wali mu kiye, Thank you.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Greatness is all around us. On pitches, fields, and playgrounds. At home and far away. It lives in the past, and it's in the faces we look up to, and in those we see every day. Greatness is all around us. It takes us beyond limitations, beyond possibility, beyond doubt, beyond expectations. The only question is, where will it take us next?
Peak of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Ireland have qualified for the Women's World Cup for the very first time.
It's unbelievable.
What a summer to look forward to.
Big girl energy straight out the gate. When I'm up with my boots, yeah, I come out the place. And the sun coming up. Blue day, all summer long, gonna kill it. Replay. Sydney, Auckland, making waves with my girls down under. Fit it out, get your toe in my colors. We gon' be the best in it, I'm certain. Strikes defeat, fast as lightning, sound like thunder. Turn the world around, shut the show down. I listen and couldn't slow down. On the whole night. Turn the world around, shut the show down.
What's an amazing effort? Little John!
Turn the world around, shut the show down.
Push them from Little John. Ireland on its way on the world stage. What a summer!
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Amanya gange ndetibona Kiranda Amina mu company eya WIB Uganda Limited ndi member. Wemba member company eno weyeida twalinga tutuli bulungi ng'abakyala abe wakawaka. Ng'abakyala abe wakawaka tuemera ku baami baife nga bonkana abajamu nanda nga twidi nti abakyala tebakozesa ki nanda. UN Women weyeida yatuteekateeka yatwegesa okulunda engege ng'abakyala. Twatandika beno okudulunda n'okudirisa n'okolaki. Twafunamu ng'abakyala aba Bugiri district. Abakyala ba Bugiri district sofa tuli abakyala 14 abakola project eya WIB. Abakyala 14 twayawula mu sectors. Mulimu abakyala ba production, abaliisa, mwaba abakyala ba validation, abongera engege omutindo bayongerako omutindo. Twaba n'abakyala ba harvesting, aba harvestinga. Twaba n'abakyala abakola aba marketing. Sector donna diri trained. Era didi kyedikola ki? Kyedikola. Project eno tufunyemu ng'abakyala. Government yaife ne ya Uganda njebaza. Okujja kujanga batulingirira mu ng'abakyala abana Uganda. Eri kujanga eturobingira ebibiina bingi. We have UWEB, baleta parish development model. We have Myoga. Byonna biri kwida muki mu bakyala oba mu bantu abaki aba Uganda.
Nze Kagoya Manjeri ng'alina emyaka 35 nafunaku esente okuva mu Myoga Sacco danamba kubampa ku emiliyoni ndala yanambako okusobola okweyiza engulu kubanga nalindirire mu bizinensi kubanga ebintu bwe byanina nali ngangwire n'amazima nga bizinensi eweremu amaanyi aye akasente ke basobola okumpaaku ak'emiliyoni endala kansobozesa okusobola okwizaamu ebintu mu bizinensi danamba kale tusiime ino obuyambi bwemmwe okusinziira we nayongeramu ebintu n'asobola okweyamba ku mu mbeera eya buliido ng'okulya, kwebeza, okusasula ku bills nga bintu byenkozesa wano ng'amasanalaze n'ebindi n'ebindi ng'omuntu obulamu bw'olina obutambuza. Mwebale ino, mwebalirira.
Amaina ndinabire Jennifer okuva mu LC ekigusa ekyaganibwa mu Muterere Town Council. We bwatuuka nga ndi kunika business kange kano nalinako nga amaani matono ino aye nawuliriza nsaze magezi ki ka business kange kano okweyongeramu. Wabaye mulango ogwaida gwa gavumenti nti eriyo emyoga giyamba abantu kusitula mu buli muntu mbeera y'abataalimu. Najaayo kirungi nali leader, nagira mu gurupu y'aba leaders nafunayo obusente naida nayongera mu ka business kange kano. Era nikano yo mukaganire nga nikano bwe kali kati tiyambisa bubi yambisa bulungi nga bwe muli kugibona. Sente zino nadifuniyemu nga bwe ndi kubakobera danga siisaamu kuba business yange bwe yali kibweri yeyongeiremu. Sente zino dangasa kale nze basebo mbebaza ba programu ye mwatuleetamu nebaza nti kabiri banange we buli awo kyongero nga muli kumbona nkayenda bwende wale nali wansi aye kabiri butindizie kuku waigulu. Amaina ndinabire Jennifer okuva mu LC ekigusa ekyaganibwa mu Muterere Town Council. We bwatuuka nga ndi kunika business kange kano nalinako nga amaani matono ino aye nawuliriza nsaze magezi ki ka business kange kano okweyongeramu. Wabaye mulango ogwaida gwa gavumenti nti eriyo emyoga giyamba abantu kusitula mu buli muntu mbeera y'abataalimu. Najaayo kirungi nali leader, nagira mu gurupu y'aba leaders nafunayo obusente naida nayongera mu ka business kange kano. Era nikano yo mukaganire nga nikano bwe kali kati tiyambisa bubi yambisa bulungi nga bwe muli kugibona. Sente zino nadifuniyemu nga bwe ndi kubakobera danga siisaamu kuba business yange bwe yali kibweri yeyongeiremu. Sente zino dangasa kale nze basebo mbebaza ba programu ye mwatuleetamu nebaza nti kabiri banange we buli awo kyongero nga muli kumbona nkayenda bwende wale nali wansi aye kabiri butindizie kuku waigulu.
This weekend on UBC.
There is what you call love and there is what love is. When you love somebody, it costs you. When you lust after somebody, it costs the other person. When I say I love you, I'm saying I'm seeking for what is good for you at my expense.
Lord. I lay down my life.
I lay down my life. In other words, I pay the bill. Whatever it costs to love you, I pay the bill.
Now, a certain gentleman is standing up to leave.
It's okay. That's what I mean. When there is no love, you easily